Yo, what is going on, everybody? This is RBT, and welcome back to another episode of the Houston Texans Madden 17 Connected Franchise Series. Jumping into Week 4, we're still 0-3 on the year. We're winless. We've been very close in every game we've played so far, but we're yet to be able to finish off a game and actually get a W. And it gets a little bit harder this week as we're taking on our division rival Tennessee Titans, who are also undefeated on the year 3-0. That's the second straight week we're having to play an undefeated team. Last week it was the Patriots. This week it is the Tennessee Titans. So it's going to be extremely difficult, but I'm telling you guys, eventually, hopefully in today's episode, I'm going to promise you guys, it is going to be today's episode. We're going to hit a winning streak and not lose for the rest of the year. And that is a promise. So hopefully you guys do enjoy today's episode. And if you do, make sure to drop a like. If we could continue the streak, and if you guys could just be great and just drop a like and hit 2,000 likes on today's episode, that would make me an extremely happy human being. But as you guys all know, we still have 4 weeks until the trade deadline, and there's still some work to be done. We have some pretty crazy trade ideas that you guys suggested in the last episode that we are going to go after today, and they might be pretty controversial and include maybe the biggest controversial trade in my series so far. So like I said, hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. With that said, let's jump into today's episode. So the reason I say today's episode might contain a very controversial trade is because of the player that we potentially will trade away for a player to bring in today's episode. And I'll talk more about that when we get to that point. But today's first trade attempt that we are going to go after, if this wouldn't have got a lot of thumbs up, I wouldn't have gone after this trade because it's not necessarily a position of need. But I just have to because it has the most thumbs up I think I've ever had a comment get out of any of my Connected Franchise series. So with 436 thumbs up, he wants me to get Brandon Marshall, the wide receiver, and convert him to a tight end because he's like a 96. Now the problem there is we already have Andre Johnson, who's a converted tight end, or converted to tight end, at an 82 overall. And then we have Zach Ertz backing him up, who we traded for earlier on in the series. So if this does go through, I'm going to trade away Zach Ertz for somebody else because number one, I think Brandon Marshall costs a lot of money, and number two, we just don't need that many good tight ends. But because it is the most thumbed up comment ever, I am going to go after this trade. So Brandon Marshall being 32 years old, he used to be a lot more towards the cap in franchise mode, but now he's only worth $3 million, so that's not bad. So we can get him and put him at the starting tight end and trade away Zach Ertz. I think we'd actually be gaining about $2 million in cap room. So with him being 85 overall and being 32, he might not be that hard to trade for. So they do need a middle linebacker, and they also need a quarterback. Now, this is where the controversy lies. Are they interested in Deshaun Watson? And they are. Now, the reason why this is controversial is because I believe probably 75% of you who voted for me to use the Texans for this Connected Franchise series wanted me to use the Texans for the sole purpose of having Deshaun Watson as the starting quarterback. But as you all know, he's out for about 10 weeks, so we went out and traded for another quarterback. We got another quarterback, and that's going to be our starter for the rest of the series because there's no point in starting a Deshaun Watson 74 overall. We have Drew Brees as our starting quarterback, so he's just going to be wasted on the bench when we could trade him away for players that we could use in this series. Now, I think we could use Deshaun Watson for a position of need rather than a position like Brandon Marshall coming in as a potential tight end. That would just be a little bit extra of a boost at that position. Like, get what I'm saying? I still need to get a cornerback, so we might be able to use Deshaun Watson at that position. So I'm going to try to save Deshaun Watson for right now until maybe later in the episode when we have to trade him away. Now, I think we are going to be going after another running back in today's episode. With that being the case, are they interested in Lamar Miller? And they are. So this might be where we actually trade away Lamar Miller. Now, with Brandon Marshall being a little bit older, I think this deal would definitely go through straight up. So with that being the case, let's throw in a draft pick as well and see if we can get in an extra draft pick along with Brandon Marshall in this deal. And it's so close, fellas. So I think we're actually going to get a 5th round pick as well in this deal. If they have a 5th, they do. Let me just throw in a 7th as well, see if we can get a 7th round draft pick. Trying to get as many draft picks as possible, as you guys know. And the trade was accepted. So for Lamar Miller, who actually been playing pretty good for us this season, but we had to trade away one of our running backs, especially with the fact that we're probably going to get another running back in this episode, for Brandon Marshall, a 5th round draft pick, and a 7th round draft pick. I think that's a pretty good freaking trade. So I have to make sure you guys weren't lying to me. He is an 85 overall wide receiver, but once we do convert him to a tight end, let's see if he's actually the 96 you guys claim that he is. And there it is, 96 overall Brandon Marshall at the starting tight end position. He has his size at 6'4", 225. Both these guys do. So now, even though Zach Ertz is a little bit taller than them too, it'd just be smart to trade him away. He's still pretty young, so could probably bring in some good value in terms of a trade. He's worth $5 million, so that would clear up some cap room. So I think all in all, that ends up being a pretty freaking good trade. Now to go after the running back target for today's episode. This is a player that you guys wanted me to get in the last Connected Franchise series, and we ended up not having enough to get him. But with 236 thumbs up, we're going after a Kansas City Chief, and it's going to be not a running back that they have, but Tyreek Hill. And you guys want me to convert him over to running back. And his speed at our running back position, mixing him in with the powerful Jay Ajayi and maybe playing Tyreek Hill in the Wildcat, that might be pretty lit for our offense. So he's only worth $1.4 million, so that's pretty good. Now the thing is, this might be where we trade away Deshaun Watson. I know I said earlier that I only wanted to trade away Deshaun Watson for a position of need, but I still feel like we could use a better running back than Arian Foster as our backup, and I think Tyreek Hill will end up starting for us. So let's see how close this is. And it's in the yellow, so this might actually be relatively easy, or not easy, but not too hard to get Tyreek Hill. So what else can we trade away to bring in Tyreek Hill? So at the running back position, I don't have anybody I can trade away here. So draft picks. We have a 5th round draft pick that we just got from the New York Giants in that Lamar Miller trade. And then I don't think that will be enough. I probably can, let me try to offer this, see how much it goes up. It goes up just a little bit, so that's not too good. So let's see what else we have that we can potentially trade away Tyreek Hill. At the cornerback position, we have Brent Grimes, who I'm not, I don't feel like a lot of teams are going to be interested in Brent Grimes because of his age, so that might come back to hurt us a little bit. So how about Tracy Porter, just throwing him into this deal? And it's in the green, but that's we definitely need more than that to bring in Tyreek Hill. So I'm going to try to get a decent draft pick to throw into that Tyreek Hill deal, because I don't want to throw any other players into that deal. Now, Xavier Su'a-Filo is a left guard who's no longer starting for us. He's a backup, and the only team that's even slightly interested in him is the Seattle Seahawks. But that still means we could potentially get something out of this deal. Let's see how close a 3rd round draft pick is for Xavier Su'a-Filo, and that's so much closer than I thought it was going to be, dude. That's kind of crazy. So what else do they need? They need a left outside linebacker, Brennan Scarlett. Let's keep on to him right now. We have a Tracy Porter. That's a 72 overall. Let's see if this is close to going through, and that's actually so freaking close, dude. So what else do we have that we could trade away to get that 3rd round draft pick? And then I think we'd be able to get Tyreek Hill pretty easily. So, Jalen Strong, he's 22 years old. I don't want to trade him away. Let's keep on keeping on and see if there's anything else I can trade. What about Joel Heath? How about him? Just a piece of crap, 66 overall. I don't know how he is in real life. We could probably go sign a better backup left in anyway out of free agency. So let's see if this deal will go through. And we do get a 3rd round draft pick from the Houston Texans, which I think will allow us to get Tyreek Hill. I really feel like this deal will go through, and if it does, I think I'm not sure what his overall is going to be. You didn't say in the comments, but regardless, he's going to be fast, so that will help us out. So Tyreek Hill for Deshaun Watson and our 3rd round draft pick that freaking disappeared. So just in case this would go through straight up, as always, I try to milk as much as I can out of every single deal. Let's just throw in a 6th round draft pick for next year as well, and it is in the green, like almost accepted. So I think we might actually be able to get a 7th round draft pick as well with this deal, which, like I said, a 7th round draft pick isn't much, but I mean, it's something to add to our pile of trade bait. So will this go through? And it is. So Deshaun Watson, a 3rd round draft pick for Tyreek Hill, and a 7th round draft pick. So let's see how much this affects our offense. And pretty crazy now, the Chiefs now have Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson as backup quarterbacks to Alex Smith. So I'm actually quite nervous about this because I have no idea what he's going to be as a running back, but I do have to say that 97 speed is pretty good regardless. Dre Archer was amazing for us in our last Connected Franchise series, which Tyreek Hill has a little bit more in terms of talent than Dre Archer aside from just speed. So we're going to convert him to the running back position and see what his overall is. If it's at least over 75, I'll be content. I have no idea what it's going to be, and it is a 81 overall. So he actually only goes down by 2 overall. So he might actually be our starting running back. That's actually, I honest to God thought he was going to be, I knew his trucking and stiff arm and stuff like that was going to be extremely low. His carryings average at 76, but he might be at least a decent change of pace running back. We have to change that number because I'm not going to have a running back with number 87. Let me know in the comment section below what number you think I should give Tyreek Hill. But as of right now, we'll give him 26. So there's one position that we do have to address before we jump into today's game against the Titans. And that's the backup middle linebacker position, as we did trade away Brian Cushing last episode to bring in Drew Brees. Now there's two suggested middle linebackers I can potentially get. I'm going to go after one, which might not happen because he's going to be, I think, pretty hard to bring in, and we don't have that much left. If we don't get him, there's another option, which is the one I prefer, but I'm going with the comment with the most thumbs up. So with 106 thumbs up, and this guy's been suggested for the past couple episodes, we're going to be going after the middle linebacker. That is Quan Alexander. He's an 82. So he might be pretty hard to bring in. But no, with the fact that I run 3-4 a lot, he'd be worth it. Now, it just all depends rather we have what it takes to bring him in. I'm not trading away my first round draft pick until we actually get a beast cornerback. So with that being the case, there wasn't many cornerbacks suggested in this episode. So be sure to suggest cornerbacks in the comment section below, because we have to get at least one before the trade deadline's over. So the number one need is cornerback. Didn't we just get Brent Grimes from them? Didn't we? I feel like we did. And they're not even interested in him. So how about Jonathan Joseph? He's 32, not interested in him either. With him being so young, I really feel like this is going to be so hard to make this go through. Either of our safeties are they interested in, and they are. So Andre Hall, they are interested in. We don't need him. Let's see how close this is to going through straight up, and we might actually be able to make this happen. So let's just go ahead and throw in whoever we have at backup middle linebacker as of right now. And that is Ray Malaluga. And then they also need a left outside linebacker, which we have a young guy there, Brennan Scarlett. You know what? Let's take out Ray Malaluga and see, with him being young and 72, this might go through. And I don't think that went up at all. So that's kind of trash. So let's throw back in Ray Malaluga to this deal. See how close this is. And it's not going up at all. So now it's time to throw in some draft picks. Let's throw in a 5th round draft pick into this deal. And it was accepted. I didn't think a 5th round draft pick was going to make that much of a difference, but it did. So with that said, guys, we get our number one target at the middle linebacker position to user, basically, because that's what we needed, because I run 3-4 all the time. So we have 2 middle linebackers on the field all the time. So that is pretty big. That's a pretty big trade. The other target, if you guys were interested, was Jabril Peppers. A lot of people have been suggesting him, but I mean, he's a rookie. I know it'd be exciting to bring him in, but you guys wanted Quan Alexander a little bit more, so that's why we got him instead. So we have no depth at the defensive end position, so like I said, we do need to sign a backup left end. Nate Orchard, a very young, pretty talented left end, only 23 years old. Gonna go ahead and sign him up for only $1.1 million per year. And since we just traded away our backup free safety, we need to go ahead and pick one up out of free agency. Ryan Smith. Don't know what college you went to, but he's a rookie. I'm guessing this year's rookie, and he's 23 years old, 71 overall with 91 speed. Definitely can do a job at the backup free safety position. And just because we have roster spots available, I'm going to go ahead and sign the highest available free agent, just because we're still going to have $9 million left in cap room, which will still allow for some pretty big deals. So I'm going to go ahead and sign him up. And what I did realize, I think that's the last deal we're going to make, or last signing we're going to make before we jump into today's game. I forgot to trade away Zach Ertz, which we didn't need to. But it still feels kind of like a waste to have him on the team. But I guess we're going to keep him on the team for now and trade him away potentially next episode. So guys, be sure, as always, if your trade was not featured in today's episode, to leave your trade suggestion in the comment section below. Be sure to thumbs up the ones you think would be great for the series, because the ones with the most thumbs up will be the ones that I do implement into the next episode and actually go after and try to trade for that particular player. Now, positions of need still. I mean, we're getting close to pretty much finishing the team, but we still have 4 weeks, and I'm going to utilize each and every week. And we still have this year's and next year's first round draft picks. So I'm saving those for hopefully a massive trade, potentially for an extremely good cornerback, like a Richard Sherman type, like a Josh Norman type, but it's just all going to depend on what happens later in the series. And maybe still a free safety, because Jason McCourty, we traded for him earlier, converted him to free safety, and he wasn't as high as I thought he was going to be, but still can do a job there and hasn't been bad for us. So linebacker core looks good, defensive line looks good. Still going to need a cornerback, so definitely be suggesting cornerbacks. And I think that should be pretty much it. Like I said, maybe a center as well. But the team is still looking pretty freaking good. And I think we still might trade away Arian Foster, depending on if there's a team that actually is interested in him or not. And Zach Ertz can definitely be a big part of a deal as well. So with that said, guys, hopefully you did enjoy the trade portion. We actually got every single player that we started to go after today's episode. So hopefully you're excited about that. And hopefully you're excited about this huge win that we're going to get, because if we don't, You guys are going to hate me because I've never started a series like this 0-3. And if we start 0-4, something's got to change. So the Titans got the football first, and we have them held to their first third down of this ball game. Let's see if we can get a stop and get the ball back and hopefully take a lead on the next drive. We've got to get this freaking win, man. Got this guy covered. There's at the outside. Janoris Jenkins makes a play in the ball. He makes a catch, but he stops him shy at the first down. That's all that matters. Thank God. We're going to start off this ball game with a 2nd and 8 with Tyreek Hill in the Wildcat. Let's see if he was worth the trade. And they played that absolutely perfect. Like, that's effing stupid. So 3rd down and 12 after the failed first Wildcat attempt with Tyreek Hill. But let's see if we can pick up this 3rd down and long. Let's see. We gotta wait. We have a man open. That's gonna be John Ross. He's gonna go up and he's gonna come down with the football. The speedy rookie. We have 2 of the fastest players in the NFL on our team now. And this time, one of them make a huge freaking catch for the first down. 2nd down and 9. We have our new tight end, Brandon Marshall, lined up in the slot. Let's see if he's a mismatch. And he is. He's going to be open. Brandon Marshall. I thought his first touch as a Texan was going to be a touchdown, but still a huge catch into plush territory. And if that's a sign of things to come with Brandon Marshall at tight end, our offense is going to be pretty lit. Time for Tyreek Hill's first carry as a running back and right up the middle. Let's see if that same play can be successful 2 times in a row. We have another big hole in Tyreek Hill's speed. Is ridiculous. Had Tyreek Hill in for 2 plays. The speedy running back now lining up in the I formation with the powerful Jay Ajayi coming out of the backfield. And he runs right up the middle for a first down. I tried to stay outside, but I don't know what happened. There was a huge hole there. And regardless, it was a first down. Can't complain. Lining up out of the I formation for another run. JK is going to be a pass. Brandon Marshall. Is he going to go up? Oh my. I gotta stop. So after my stupid interception, the Titans have the ball at midfield, moving the football pretty effectively. They're running the ball well, throwing the ball well. Play action pass here from Marcus Mariota. They have the ball at midfield. Somebody's about to come back for a deep pass, aren't they? But we're gonna get the sack eventually. Normally on that play, they have so much time to throw the football. The receivers running the streak routes, come back to the ball. It's almost impossible to cover. But thank God we got pressure eventually and force the Tennessee Titans into a 2nd and 19. So I'm not sure what you guys have seen in the highlights so far, but DeMarco Murray is playing like an absolute freaking beast. So 3rd down and 11, I just can't tackle him. I really cannot tackle the dude. Let's see if we can get the stop though. They have a guy wide open. Let's see if we can make this tackle. Davis is going to go out. That's Corey Davis, the beast rookie. But we force him out of bounds. That's going to be a 4th down and 5, and thank God at least they don't score off our stupid interception. What a punt from Brett Kern of the Titans, who's going to pin us in our own end zone at the 4-yard line. That's exactly not what I wanted to happen. This could either be a huge mistake or a huge touchdown. But let's see what's going to happen. And what, DeAndre Hopkins one-on-one. Can he make the catch? DeAndre Hopkins, and he does! And he breaks the tackle, and he breaks the second one, and it's going to end up being the touchdown. We're going to celebrate into the end zone, and what a play from DeAndre Hopkins. His biggest play on the season thus far. One of the few Houston Texans who's still on the team from the beginning of this series, and he comes up huge. Dez Bryant's been taken away from DeAndre Hopkins' spotlight, but right there shows that he is still our huge #1 receiver on the Texans, and I'm expecting Drew Brees and DeAndre Hopkins to have a few more plays like that throughout this whole entire season. Play action pass, Marcus Mariota is going down. Jadeveon Clowney with his first sack of the ball game sets up for a 3rd down and 18 deep in their own territory. Let's see if we can make this stop and force another 3 and out and get the ball back and potentially go up by 2 possessions, which would be huge against this 3-0 Tennessee Titan team, which has actually been playing really well. We just, I guess, got kind of lucky. I really don't know how they haven't scored yet. We get another sack. J.J. Watt coming up huge. Our 2 beast defensive ends are showing how much of a force they are on our defense. John Ross breaks a tackle. John Ross is going to take the ball past the 50-yard line, so we have the ball at the 48. If we don't score in this drive and make it a 2-possession game, I don't know. Forgot what I was saying. Gonna give the Wildcat one more shot on this 2nd down and 10. Let's see if it can be effective. We have space to the outside. Tyreek Hill is going to bring the ball all the way down to the 28-yard line. Going to run it until the Titans stop us. Let's see if it's effective. 2 straight plays. He has the speed, has a hole. They hold the block long enough to get to the outside as we pick up another first down. We have Tyreek Hill out of the backfield, and that is going to be a Houston Texan touchdown. That's the first time in a long time in this series that we've had a 2-touchdown lead. We have the Titans to another 3rd down and 2. If we can make this stop, we could have a chance to put up more points before the half, which would be pretty freaking huge in our quest to actually get our first win of the season. Gonna bring pressure here. Our first time, I think, bringing pressure on Marcus Mariota this whole entire game. We're just not going to get to him, but it does force a throwaway for Marcus Mariota. So we are going to have the ball with about 50 seconds left to go. Let's just not do something stupid and like throw a pick 6 or something. A 3rd down and 10. Hopefully we can pick this up. If not, let's just not do something stupid. Oh, just wait a second. He's open. John Ross go up, hit him in the hands, and he gets hit. And he drops the ball. As hopefully he can just punt the ball and they'll just run the clock out because I really don't want them to score before the half. So thank God the Titans didn't score before halftime, and now we have the ball following the second half kickoff. And I know it's still pretty early in the game, just the start of the 3rd quarter, but I might as well try to chew a little bit of clock while I have the chance, while I'm still up by 2 possessions. And why not put in Tyreek Hill and the Wildcat once again, because they've been so effective in this game. And once again, if we can hold the blocks on the outside, he has the speed to make a man miss, and he makes a man miss with the juke as he has 6 rushes for 61 yards. We've been pretty balanced in this game with 10 rushes and 10 passes so far. Going to keep the ball on the ground though in the 2nd down and 1, see if J.J. can pick it up, and of course he does. He's the powerful running back, and he keeps on keeping on all the way down to the 46-yard line into plus territory. I don't know what's gotten into our team, but we've just been playing very consistent in this game, and aside from that one pick, I've really had no mistakes. Let's hopefully not jinx myself. We have a wide open. I threw it a little bit too late. Thank God Brandon Marshall is a G. Handoff again to J.J. And once again, easily, well, not necessarily easily, but regardless, easy or not, gets the first down. 3rd down and 11, just within field goal range. So one thing we can't do right here is lose yardage, because I want to at least kick a field goal here so we can make it a 3-possession game. Let's be smart, though, with the football. Oh, John Ross is open. He makes the catch. And he's down to the 23-yard line, so the chains keep moving. And I'm really hoping we can make this a 21-0 ball game, because up by 3 touchdowns in the 4th quarter, knock on wood, I think we should be able to get that dub. Everybody's crowding the line of scrimmage, so we're going to audible, see some vertical routes, see if somebody can get open down the field. B's wide open. He's going to make the catch. Des Bryant's going to break a tackle, and he's going to keep on moving forward all the way down within the 10-yard line, but he goes down with an injury. Is he the one injured? Oh no, it's Logan Ryan, thank God. Oh dear God, I about pissed myself. So after a Jarrell Casey sack, we have the ball now, 2nd and goal from the 14-yard line. But let's see if Tyreek Hill can have anything to say about that. He has the speed. Does he get the edge? And he does. Tyreek Hill gets into the end zone, baby. This is the 2nd touchdown of the game. 1 through the air, 1 on the ground. As I think you guys made a pretty good decision by suggesting me to get Tyreek Hill, and I'm glad that I finally made it happen to get him. Because it seems like he's completely changed this offense and gave us another weapon that we didn't have previously. Come on, J.J. Watt is all over Marcus Mariota, and our defensive line is definitely making their presence felt in today's ballgame, which is crazy because we have our 4th sack in this ballgame. And I would have to say, even though I'm a Titans fan in real life, and I'm trying not to be biased, we do have a very, very good young offensive line. And I would never have thought they would allow 4 sacks within the first 3 quarters, but I'm not complaining. Bringing a ton of pressure right here. This might be a huge mistake, but hopefully we can get to Marcus Mariota, and he's going to fumble the football. We're going to pick it up, and Whitney Marsalis gets into the end zone. And that is our first defensive touchdown of this season as we are running wild in this ball game. A huge freaking route, 28-0, dude. I don't understand how he plays so bad in the first 3 weeks of the series. And it's all of a sudden in week 4. Crazy enough, if you watch my Browns episode, we were winning every single game of the series until we played the Titans, and then we lost by like 30-something points. And it's the complete opposite in this series, where we lose the first 3 games of the season, and then play the Titans and absolutely demolish them. And I know it's still a quarter to go, but if we lose this ball game after being up 28-0 going into the 4th quarter, I'll just delete my channel. Oh dear God, the Titans trying to get on the scoreboard for the first time in this ball game. I thought I was about to make that play with Quan Alexander, but DeMarco Murray is slowly but surely having a pretty good game. Oh God, the Titans might get on the scoreboard here. Tajay Sharp down to the 14-yard line. Crazy how good the Titans receiving corps just got all of a sudden. Like last year, it was pretty trash. As a Titans fan, now they have Corey Davis, Tajay Sharp, Rashard Matthews, and they have Eric Decker now. So it's a pretty good wide receiver corps, but thank God they really haven't hurt us in today's game. Oh, wide open. How is he so freaking wide open? Titans touchdown. Hopefully they don't come back. Titans about to attempt an onside kick, and if we do recover this, we should be golden. We should be golden regardless, even if they get this. There's only 5 minutes left to go in the ball game. And one of the Watt brothers, I think that's Derek Watt, with the recovery. 3rd down and inches. If we pick this up, it very well might be it. We have Derek Watt in the backfield. I mean, we don't utilize him for how good he is. We about ran out of clock, but easy enough. That's a 1st down. And pretty much is going to guarantee our first W of the season. Tyreek Hill with the speed. No, dude. Tyreek Hill, a huge carry, but it's going to be, I think, a block in the back. But that just shows you guys, he's so explosive. No matter where you line him up at, it's actually a holding call. That he's just explosive and is a threat to score every single time he touches the football. 2nd down and 19. This could very well do it. Had an open receiver, and Daquan Jones recovers the fumble. Can never win a game easy. So 3rd down and 11. The Titans are trying to make the game not look as bad as it was. But even if they score, you guys all know I got this huge W. They have a running back wide open out of the backfield. He can throw it deep, and Brent Grimes is too short. And that's number 84. I think that was, is that Corey Davis with the reception? And turn around. Turn around, bro. It is Corey Davis, the rookie, with one of his first touchdown catches as a Titan. Just absolutely just overpowered Brent Grimes right there. The size definitely came into factor right there. As that's one of the reasons why I really don't want Brent Grimes as one of our cornerbacks. So let's get somebody better. Now, if the Titans recover this onside kick, I'm pissing in a cup and sending it to the FBI. It was this close. It was this close to having to send a cup of piss to the FBI. 3rd down and 12, probably the last play of the game offensively. Let's see if we can get Arian Foster involved. Can he get this 1st down? No, he doesn't. And what do we do here? I think they just used their last timeout. It's still a 2-possession ball game. Why don't we just go ahead and just try to end the ball game right here? I'm not going to kick a goddamn field goal because I'm probably going to miss it, or they'll probably block it or something of that sort. So, let's see if we can officially end this ball game right here and get our first win of the season. If not, they're probably going to score a touchdown, get an onside kick, score another one, and then get another onside kick and win the ball game. But let's just stop that all right here and finally end the losing streak. Let's see. John Ross is open. He's going to make the catch. And he was shy of the 1st down. 4th down and 10. This would officially finally do it. We can get our first win of the season. Oh, please make a play. Please make a play. Did Corey Davis just make that catch in triple coverage? That, as a Titans fan, gets me happy. And you know what type of happy I'm talking about. I think this should finally do it. Please, somebody make a play. J.J. Watt. Fitting that we end this game with the sack, and the Texans have officially gotten the win column in the 2017 season as we beat our division rival Tennessee Titans 28-14 as we hand them their first loss of the season. It feels good to finally win and finally be happy to upload a video and know that the comment section won't be aged because I actually won and didn't lose. So with that said, let's check out the game's final stats. Mariota wasn't bad for the Titans, still had a 99.9 quarterback rating, but Drew Brees on the flip side had a 123.7 quarterback rating, which is pretty good. 11 of 16, 195 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Rushing, Tyreek Hill, a pretty big game. We had about 100 yards combined, actually 110 yards combined. He had 73 of those yards, and Jay Ajayi had 37, and DeMarco Murray didn't really get to do much. He was killing in the first quarter, but then they fell behind and didn't get to run much, thank God, because we couldn't stop them early in the first quarter. In this game, you guys might not have saw it in the gameplay, but last season when we played them with the Browns, he had, I think, 200, 300 rushing yards, so he's unstoppable, but thank God we didn't see much of him in this ball game after the first quarter. Now, receiving-wise, we had DeAndre Hopkins lead our team with 89 receiving yards, and Corey Davis looked pretty freaking good for the Titans at 82 yards and a touchdown as well. But thank God DeAndre Hopkins had his first big game of the season. And while we see defensively as well, we had Denor seriously led this game with tackles. J.J. Watt had 5 and 3 sacks. So J.J. Watt and T.J. Watt combined for 4.5 sacks. So we have 6 sacks in this game. Crazy. But all I care about is we finally win a game, and I don't have to worry about you guys hating me for losing. So with that said, guys, that is going to do it for today's episode of the Houston Texans Connected Franchise Series. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, and if you did, make sure to drop a like. If we get 2,000 likes, like I said at the beginning of the episode, that would be absolutely incredible. I do apologize. I think my webcam froze for like the last couple minutes of the gameplay, so you probably didn't see the face cam, so I apologize about that. Don't know what's been up with my face cam. Probably need to update some software, so I'll fix that for next episode, so hopefully it doesn't happen again. Also, be sure to leave your trade suggestions in the comment section below. Please, please, please suggest some cornerbacks, because we definitely need some, because I don't feel comfortable with Brent Grimes being one of our main cornerbacks, so please suggest them in the comment section below. I'll be definitely picking out at least one. If you go after the next episode. But officially, that is going to do it. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I will catch you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.